Alright, I'm gonna go back here to where we were children and go finish the children plot line. Let's do this. Where are we going? Run away. Right? Why are we running away? Why is there a runaway option? What happened? Who ran away? Ghost? Why not? Good point. We're children. Why not run away? I'm sure every child tries to run away at some point. Alright. We got Ghost. So let's do Ghost. I ran away. Why did you run away? Did you not get enough ice cream? I hope it wasn't for legitimate reasons. Did I run away? But I wasn't allowed to past a certain point. I ran away to the corner. Did I run away? Maybe? I don't remember if I did. But anyway, let's go ghost hunting, I guess. Go to the hunting of ghosts. The little Joker penguin. I love him. He's cute. The night was incredibly still. You really couldn't ignore how silent it was. It was almost eerie. You could even hear Lizzie snoring in the next room over. It was hard to believe how much of a blur today was. Summer sure did slip right past you. No, never mind. I was gonna ask you guys to help me play with my audio a little bit, but nah, I'll deal with it later. You flicked through the moments like pages in a scrapbook as you laid in bed. The ones that stuck out all seemed to include your new neighbor, Cove. It was funny how he had become such a big part of your life in such a short span of time. Yeah, sometimes you just get those friends. Someone comes into your life and is just like, oh, you're really important to me. Even though I've known you for how many months, weeks, you know? You thought a lot about what adventures you could have tomorrow until sleep started to catch up to you. Then you heard something scrape against the window. Oh, so Cove has a history of breaking into our room. Got it. It wasn't that uncommon for the wind to push a tree branch against the glass. Summer breezes were the worst sometimes. But the more you tried to ignore it, the louder it seemed like it became. It was like something was trying to get your attention. You lifted your head off the pillow to get a better look. Nothing was there. It's a ghost. Nothing you could see, at least. Just went back to bed. It's only your imagination. You had to investigate the serious sound. It's too creepy to ignore. Well, yeah, we're going ghost hunting. Let's go. Practically jumped out of bed and crept down the stairs to go outside. Your moms were still awake. They stayed up so late it seemed. Luckily, they were watching TV and didn't hear the soft click of the front door opening as you slipped past. Ooh, we're sneaky. Our stealth is at 100%. You looked around the neighborhood for a few seconds, checking over each individual house. It looked normal, but it didn't feel that way. You knew you weren't supposed to be out here right now. It was exhilarating. It scared you. Yeah, I think it might scare me a little bit. If I'm a kid, it scares me a little bit when I'm doing something I blatantly shouldn't. You didn't know what had come over you. Something bad happened. No one would know where you had gone, and the thought of that made your stomach tighten in fear. The ease which you had slipped out only served to make you feel worse. Your moms didn't need to be vigilant because they had trusted you not to do exactly what you were doing. Yeah, don't trust kids. Kids lie. Kids do things they're not supposed to do all the time. Number 22. You twitched at the sudden call, immediately calming down upon seeing Cove walking up to you. It was strange, yet also completely normal to have him appear like this right now. What are you doing? I saw you standing around in the middle of the street from my window. You weren't sleeping either. Why not? Cove turned up his lips to smile, almost as if he were amused by the question. Because... Did you hear a weird noise? I'm gonna go with the weird noise, because that's also why we're here. And it's probably a ghost waking us up. You could tell you hit the nail on the head by the way his eyes widened. Yeah, you knew? I heard it too. That's why you came out, huh? Cove hesitated for a moment, looking down the street before his aquamarine eyes fell on you again. Did it scare you? A little. A little? I'll say a little. It was creepy. No, I'll never admit that I'm scared. No, it didn't scare me at all. I don't know what you're talking about. I was scared. It's okay, Cove. We're safe. And we have each other.
Thanks.
Aww. Your reassurance definitely seemed to ease his fears at least a little. Oh, good. I was kind of wondering if it was the wind, but if it's not, what if it's a person? What if it's something that's not a person? What if it's not a person, you guys? What if it's a deer? What if it's a robot? What if it's a banshee? The unsettling noise suddenly rushed through the air. Cove and you flinched. Sounds even worse than before. You were about to agree with him when the noise came yet again, tearing through the still night. Two of you rapidly looked around, trying to find the source, but to no avail. There's no sign of an answer to this puzzle. You thought that it could be anything. It had to be a ghost? There's gotta be a regular reason for it. You forgot he had the cast? How did you forget? He has a giant scar as a teen. It had to be a ghost. Invisible, creepy thing luring children from their beds. It had to be a monster. We're becoming more and more excited by the thought, imagining yourself as some famous ghost hunter. We're ghost hunters! Are you ready, guys? We're gonna go hunt ghosts. Lynn! Don't start spreading rumors! People are gonna take that the wrong way. No! Bad! Cove didn't seem to share your enthusiasm, and that kept you from getting totally lost in a daydream. Most important thing to you was making sure he would be okay, even if you had to be the one to protect him. Yeah, don't worry, Cove, I'll protect you. Hey, can you tell me where it's coming from?
Not really.
Not really. Then we'll have to look more. Somewhere else. Maybe we'll see something. Okay, let's go. As you walked the familiar streets of your neighborhood, you found yourself taking the lead while Cove hung back behind you. You were happy to let him rely on you. Shadows cut corners and angles where you didn't expect them, distorting the features you saw every day. The noise came again, shrill and hard. It set your teeth on edge the way it ground its way through you. Cove's throat bobbed. Cove's throat bobbed. That is... what? What does that mean? Is that, like... where you swallow? What the hell does that mean? His eyes glistened in the dim light. Comforted him. You offered him your hand. You don't need to be scared. He needs comforting. I agree, that sounds weird. We'll comfort him. Let him know it's all gonna be okay. We're still alright, Cove. Nothing's coming for us. Yeah, we got this. You grinned at him and coaxed a weak smile back from him in exchange. Cove shut his eyes and pressed his lips together.
So...
Where did you want to check? The park? The beach? The hills behind my house. It's 5 to be teens, so it's all good. Exactly. We survived this. Where do we want to go? I want to say the hills. Because the hills have eyes. I want to go look at the hills straight in their eyes. You and Cove ascended the hill, lit only by the stars in the night sky. The wind rippled through the grass and ruffled your hair. Without the sun's light to translate what you were seeing, every bush in the distance looked like a creepy figure, a towering monster. The noise was just as loud here as it was in your neighborhood, with just as little indication behind the cause. But keep going forward. No, we're brave. We're brave boys. We're brave boys. We got this. Couldn't stop when you had already gone so far. You had to find out what was going on. Top of the hill was an excellent vantage point to survey the town from. Everything appeared normal. There was no out-of-place sighting pinpointing the answers to this mystery. Without visible markers to guide your way, you suppose it was up to you and Cove to deduce the source of the sound. The hill had many great hiding places, and you intend to check them all. You upturned rocks, peered up trees, and rummaged through the thick grass for anything that might bring some closure on all this. Cove stuck close to you as you hunted for the source of the noise. Damn, these kids are going hard. Just like, how long are they out here? It's a big hill. They're little kids. This probably took a while. The shrinking noise shook the air. He shook too. You wanted to be there for him. Seeking to ease his nerves and put aside spooky thoughts, you decided to strike up a conversation with him. Your search for a topic was more fruitful than your search for the noise. Your eyes fell on Cove's cast, and you were instantly inspired. Have you broken any other bones?
No.
Oh. Turned out that wasn't much of an engaging topic for him after all. Well, sorry. I broke my leg once. I mean, wait. I'll go with sprain my ankle, because I did have 2 fractures in my ankle before. He smiled mischievously at your injury claim. Hey! Why does my injury make you happy? Fucking rude. That's not the same thing. It still isn't good. I guess so. That put an end to your injury discussion. Cove's calmer mood alleviated the bleak atmosphere like you hoped it would. Cove cast his eyes out to the darkness, feeling bolder. Does this make you feel strange? We were people who heard weird noises at night and are out looking for what it is. It's like we're at the start of a book or a movie where we're the main characters. Hell yeah. Too bad we're just NPCs in this in this story. Yeah. It's a horror story. It's an action story. It's a fantasy story. It's a documentary. It says it feels like a horror story, but the music makes it feel like a fantasy. I want to say horror. What do you guys think? This feels like horror. This feels like something's about to jump out at us. We're getting kidnapped. Don't scare them. Oh, fine. I won't scare them. That's less fun, but okay. That's something, the horror story is something what's-her-face, Lizzie would say. So we'll go with fantasy. Because of the music. The world they found outside looked like their own, but it wasn't. They had stepped into another dimension without even knowing.
Really?
Yep. It's a dimension where everyone has been cursed to sleep until the monster making the noise is defeated. How are we going to defeat the monster? Beat it with a stick. Or find magical swords that can defeat the dreaded beast with one blow. Okay. Well, whatever the noise was, you were confident that you had established it, that it was not coming from the hill. Once you were satisfied nothing out of the ordinary was to be found on the hill, you would consider your next step. Figure you check the park, the beach. We like the beach. Let's go to the beach. The beach stretched out in front of you. Nothing in sight as along the sands, no matter which way you turned. Part of you had imagined the noise as some creature of the deep washed up on the shore and calling for aid. That theory had to be taken off the list for now. Still, you spent enough time on the shore to know that the real finds often required a sharp eye and careful attention. The sound was more than a whimper now. Emboldened, you kept your head high and walked along the sand. Let's see if there's anything else here. Cove began to comb the beach for clues. He followed suit. The angry wind sent grains of sand rolling across the beach like waves. You stayed clear of the water, which was rough and choppy tonight, and scored the area for hints as to what might be happening. Saw something glint in the sand, full of promise, but when you eagerly uncovered it, you found that it was just a foil from a chip packet. You stowed it away with a sigh. Did you find something? Just trash. Cove shrugged and gave you a sympathetic smile. That's how it goes sometimes. You like hunting for treasure on the beach too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever found anything mysterious or weird? We were expecting him to mull the question over for a bit, but Cove answered immediately, unlike him. Teeth. I'm sorry? You just found teeth on the beach? Like a shark tooth, I'm hoping? Like a shark's tooth? You'd seen those for sale in shops, though you'd never be lucky enough to stumble across one at the beach. No, not that. People teeth. That's creepy. That's worrisome. That sounds like someone dumped a body in the ocean. No. Yeah, you know how grown-ups sometimes don't have their own teeth any longer? And they get fake ones so they can still eat? He nodded, lessening in fascination and horror. I found some. The top half. Oh, dentures. You found dentures. Still gross. How'd you know it was the top half? It had the pink top of the mouth bit, like this. He opened wide and pointed at the roof of his mouth. He let out a squeal. The gums. He means gums. What did you do with them? Mom took them from me. I don't know what happened after that. She used them in an art project. I don't know. That was too bad to think of prank. Too bad to think of prank opportunities. Way stranger than the stuff I've seen. Still not as strange as the thing I've found. I don't know. What could be stranger than dentures? You know what? I'm curious. What could be stranger than dentures? Could recall many times when something totally unexpected or unexplained had washed on the shores near your home. Once there were bones on the beach. Real ones from an animal or something. What kind of animal? I don't know. Cove's lips trembled at the idea. The little talk you were having momentarily relaxed Cove, but he was on edge again. Conversation ended with that. As you contemplated your options, it occurred to you that you hadn't heard the noise for a while. Cove, I think it's gone. Cove perked up at this. You watched as you listened for the scary sound that had become background noise to your adventure.
You're right.
You're right. Both stood awkwardly in this now silent night, without the mysterious call to lead you. There wasn't a reason to stay out here any longer. The night was still as you walked home. Was the park the right answer? With none of the usual background noises or the eerie whistle from before, you could hear every step you and Cove made like a cough in a movie theater. The two of you came to a halt outside your front door. Never before had it looked so ominous. Now to sneak back inside. Do you sneak out a lot? This is my first time. Yeah, this is my first time. Yeah, I've never tried to do it till now. Thought so. How did you know? I hadn't seen you out my window this late before. That was fair, though it could have been possible you were just so good at sneaking that this was the first time he had caught you. Are you worried about getting caught?
No.
No. He was so forthright that you believed him completely. But your dad, won't he get mad or sad if he catches you? He's never happy with what I do. Aw. Oh. Sympathized, encouraged Cove to see it more positively. Stayed out of it. I think I'm gonna sympathize, because that really sucks. That must be hard. Why is he always looking out his window? He's a sad boy. That's what sad boys do. That's like their favorite pastime. Oh. Because we're like his only friend. Is me, Lizzie, and the boy that doesn't even live in this town. So yeah, we're his only friend. Also, probably his window just faces our house. But he's a little sad boy. That's all they do, is they just, like, sit in front of windows and pout. That must be hard. Yeah, he and Mom do what they want. Why shouldn't I? Alright, I'm going in.
Bye.
Okay. Good night. Good night, Cove. Thanks for coming out with me tonight. You made me feel better about stuff. I want to say thanks to you. You beamed at him. Aw, I'm glad we can make your day better. Turn the doorknob as slowly as a clock's minute hand, holding your breath for the telltale click of the lock, then nudged it open. That'd be funny if moms were just like standing right there in front of the door. When all that happened was the door opening, rather than blaring alarms that you'd feared. You melted with relief. Back inside your house, you were surprised to find your mom still watching TV. Weirder still, it looked like they were on the same show as they were watching before you left. Yet you were positive you'd been out investigating for hours. Perhaps you could use their distraction to your advantage. If you could just get up the stairs, you would be safe from suspicion. But how could you get there? Couldn't. You had to give up. Come clean. Nah, we got this. We'll sneak. Our sneaking is at 100%. You hugged the walls as you creeped delicately around the perimeter of the room. It was a valiant effort that any spy would have been proud of, right up until the moment when you tripped over a power cord and nearly fell over. 22? You might not have fallen, but your accident ruined your cover. You have been spotted. They abandoned the couch in the show to hurry over. They were still in the state of surprise. You weren't in trouble yet.
Are you okay?
What are you doing down here, sweetie? Did you have a bad dream? No, I'm definitely lying. Couldn't bring yourself to own up to what you had done. I heard scary noises, so I came down here. The surprise gave way to concern. Aw. Yay, we're getting away with it!
Sweetie.
Honey. Mom took you by the hand and led you up the stairs. Woof, your hand is cold. Why didn't you come over to us? I was supposed to be in bed. 22. You won't ever be in trouble for coming to us when you're frightened. We'd much rather you come to us than try to solve things all by yourself. Too late, Mom. Her phrasing made you feel bad. The nervousness ate at you as you were tucked into bed. Moms assumed that your flushing and insistence on delivering. Your moms assumed that your flushing and insistence on delving under the covers was part of your fear, and spoke to you softly until you calmed down enough to peep out from underneath your sheets. Once your moms had left, you turned over the night's adventure in your mind. It was still hard to believe that you'd really done it. Yeah, we're so sneaky. We're just the sneakiest. They will never know. Nope, we'll never tell them. Taking that one to the grave. It was harder still to believe that you'd gotten away with it. Even now, you have expected to be caught somehow. Perhaps you'd left the door ajar, or trailed sand where they'd already swept up. You hoped that Cove had gotten home okay, though he hadn't been worried. Being told off was never fun. Wriggling down deeper underneath the sheets, your thoughts turned to an unsolved mystery. You and Cove had only just begun to scratch the surface of it. Maybe you'd solve it, maybe you wouldn't. But what mattered was that you shared the experience with each other. You were still so energized by the night's excitement that you tossed and turned in bed for some time, thinking up theories to share with Cove when you next saw him. Sleep eventually claimed you, but the adventure merely resumed in your dreams. That's fun. Why is there mud on your PJs? No reason. What are you talking about? Nah, that's been there. I went to bed like that. What are you talking about? Next morning proceeds, mostly like usual, though your mom seemed to be giving extra consideration since finding you last night. You later learned Cove didn't end up in trouble for the nightly escapade either. It was unclear whether that was because his dad chose not to punish him, or if Cove got away with it. He probably got away with it. He probably does this all the time. It was amazing to you that it all worked out for you both. As for the sound that started this all, the adults around were convinced it was nothing more than the wind. For your imaginative mind, that wasn't nearly enough. How could they accept something so simple so easily? Maybe it'd make more sense when you were grown up too. Mostly because Every time you try to find something spectacular, it ends up being mundane. But once in a while, it's something unexplainable. Or explainable but fantastical. Not fantastical. Fantastical would mean fantasy. And that would be impossible. You guys know what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean. Words are hard. Okay. We have the library, we have barbecue, we have runaway, and sleepover. I'm thinking sleepover. That seems like fun. I want to have a sleepover with my friends. Let's do it. Phantasma. We missed the ghost.
Okay.
Actually, maybe we can replay it and then try the park. See what happens. Alright, kids. We're done with dinner. Come to the table. Stomach grumbled right on time, as if it had heard your mom's words. You altered your game and looked over. Mom was almost done setting the table. She was walking around the mahogany wood in process of putting down cutlery. Mahogany. Mommy was still in the kitchen. I'm sorry. It's still funny every time I call her mommy. I can't. Mommy was still in the kitchen, humming under her breath as she turned off the stove and put empty pots in the sink to wash. From beside you, Lizzie stirred, uncrossing her legs and standing up. She stretched her arms above her head. Finally, I'm ready to eat. Then she cast a sly glance in your direction. You recognize that look. Last one to the table is a rotten egg. I haven't. But it was too late. Lizzie had already bolted toward the kitchen. Tried to catch up to her. Stayed sitting. You yelled out to her. Threw a cushion at her. Yes! Throwing cushions at her. Grabbing one of the cushions from the sofa, you threw it towards her. It hit her in the back of the legs, but it was too soft to do anything of real consequence. She merely brushed the attack off with a scowl. It was a shorter distance to the kitchen table. Lizzie managed to get there easily enough, slapping a hand over the wood. Mom moved just before Lizzie could bump into her. With an exasperated sigh, she resumed her work. I win again. Didn't win because you were racing by yourself. Yeah, because you cheated. Yeah, you absolutely cheated. I didn't cheat. You ran before me. Yeah, because that's how racing works. The one who starts first wins first. That is not how racing works. That isn't true. It sounds like something a rotten egg would say. You're a rotten egg. Lizzie grinned, her hands on her hips, then looked over your shoulder. Cove, you can be the tiebreaker. Was that real race that I totally won? Cove's here? I know Cove was here. You blinked. You hadn't noticed what he had been doing during this little event, which wasn't much. You spotted Cove still on the floor. His legs were crossed beneath him, the arm with the cast resting on his lap. He looked at the two of you with a slight frown. Felt sort of strange to see him still here so late. Tonight, Cove had come to your house for a sleepover. Your mom said his dad had planned it a few days ago. Cove is part of the furniture. We didn't notice him. He just blends into the couch. You weren't surprised. You were the one who had asked your moms about it. You were excited when your moms told you their idea. It was so much fun to do. Sure. It sounds fun. I don't remember what we were talking about. You would consider all the games you could play and other stuff you could do with Cove for days. You even helped Mom search the storage room for a sleeping bag and extra bedding to prepare for his visit. Oh, right, the sleepover. I forgot we were doing a sleepover. Because Lizzie was cheating. And then I got caught up in that. Cove pursed his lips at Lizzie's question, but he didn't respond. Maybe he was planning on ignoring her? Not that Lizzie would make it easy. It wasn't the first time she had asked him to be a referee in one of her sudden races.
Come on.
Well, did I win or what?
No.
I'm getting calls. No. What? I don't think you won. How come? It's not my fault number 22's slow. Cheating's cheating, and cheaters never win.
You always pick their side.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're right. Cove snuck a shy peek at you before answering her. I picked them, and they picked me. You're a couple of rotten eggs, then. That's enough. Nobody here is a loser or a rotten egg. You're each farm fresh. Thank you? Thank you, you freaking yandere. Stop smiling at us like that. Why do you look like you're about to murder us? Mom, stop it. Which is a sentence I never thought I'd say. Yeah, why are you calling the children farm fresh? It's weird.
Alright.
Now listen to Mom and come sit at the table for dinner. All three of you. You and Lizzie obeyed, sitting across from each other at the edge of the table. Lizzie blew a raspberry at you when Mom turned her back. Your parents brought the last of the food. Then they took seats further down the table, instead of sitting right next to you and Lizzie. Only Cove was left out. He had stood up from his spot on the floor, but he hadn't made a move toward the kitchen. Cove, you can sit too. Slowly, he eyed the 4 seats that were left. Thanks to the new seating arrangements your parents chose, one free chair was beside you, another next to Lizzie, and the last 2 were on the other side where your moms were sitting. Sit next to me! Yeah, come, my friends, sit next to me. Skylar, you gotta go? It's okay. Thanks for dropping by. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you later. Bye. Have a good day. Cove's gaze met your purple eyes. You smiled briefly. He grinned back. He walked over, pulled out a chair next to yours, and sat down. You were glad he wanted to sit with you. You just needed to know it was okay. Now that everyone was situated, Mommy began to pass out plates.
Okay.
Bye-bye, Skylar. Dig in, kids. I cooked a little bit of everything for dinner tonight. Be sure not to avoid all the veggies. Otherwise, I'll murder you.
Ugh.
Yes, Mom. Each person at the table served themselves, except for one. Cove hesitated again. He fidgeted with his hands clamped on top of his knees. He didn't seem very comfortable doing stuff in someone else's house. One dish seemed to have his eye, at least. That's pineapple chicken. Want to try some? Not really. Sorry. But then, your moms had noted that Cove still had nothing on his plate as well. Did you not like any of the food, honey?
Well,
Maybe he hasn't tried Hawaiian food before. He hasn't? Wow. Please don't talk with your mouth full, Lizzie. Wait, so are we in Hawaii? Are we Hawaiian? Did they just try to make Hawaiian food? I don't... You know what? We'll find out. Lizzie swallowed the bit she was eating. Then she spoke again. You should try it now. She turned to Cove dramatically. Unless you want to shrink. That's what happens if you miss a meal. Elizabeth, that's not true. You know that. Cove squirmed under all the attention. He fidgeted with a fork between his fingers. I've had some things, just not any of this.
oh shoot.
Oh shoot, I knew I should have asked your dad what your favorite foods were. It's alright, Lanny. Maybe you'll find a new favorite today. You weren't so sure about that. Cove didn't look like he was going to be trying any food anytime soon. Let your moms handle this. I think you would like pineapple chicken. It's yummy. You know what? I think he should try new things. You should be encouraged to try new things. Everyone should. Aren't you tired of eating the same old things? You were only trying to help, but it seemed like to make Cove even more resistant to tasting any of the dishes. He sat back in the chair, folding his arms across his chest stubbornly. Okay. Eat the food! I like the same old things. Mom shook her head over the debacle this was becoming.
It's okay.
Meal isn't always exciting for everyone, but it could be this time, Cove. Sorry, I didn't mean old things were bad. Cove loosened his stance again at the comforting remark. But it's dinner, and you shouldn't eat nothing. The ribs and chicken are yummy. Guess Cove trusted your judgment, because eventually he took a little of the 2 dishes and put them on his plate. First, Cove poked at the food. Clearly he was apprehensive to eat something new. but he took a few exploratory bites.
Right?
My god, picky eaters. Am I right? What do we do with them? It's good, huh? Isn't it? Don't have to keep asking. He still speared more meat with his fork and ate it, chewing thoughtfully. It's a relatable issue. Aww. I hope you're not resistant to trying new things. It's not bad. Mommy grinned at his words, satisfied, even though it wasn't exactly a glowing commendation. Commendation? Recommendation? I've never heard anyone say commendation before. I'm not sure what that means. Lizzie wasn't mollified? That is another word I've never heard before. Mollified. Okay, I need to know what that word means. What does mollified mean? Mollified. Mollified. Appease the anger and anxiety of someone. Oh. Okay. So, Lizzie was not appeased. You're so weird. Don't be mean to your friend. We're not friends.
Oh.
Oh. Mommy floundered in the face of Cove's blunt honesty. You weren't surprised by Cove's declaration. The more you got to know him, the more you realized he wasn't the type of kid to keep his opinions to himself. Anymore. But when I was younger, I didn't like trying new foods. Yeah, that's children. Children don't like new things. Or at least they're adverse to trying new things. It happens. You hope Cole thought of you as a friend. Two of you were friends, right? Wondered how he felt about you. I'm pretty sure we're definitely friends. At least the two of you were definitely friends. Yeah, we're definitely friends. Knew that without a doubt. The way he felt about Lizzie didn't change it. When you gave Cove a look, he returned a small smile, confirming your thoughts. Your mommy looked at Mom and only got a shrug.
No.
Elizabeth, don't call someone weird. There's no such thing as a weird person and a non-weird person. There's just different perspectives. It's not a nice thing to say to someone. Anyone. But Pam. Mommy tried to whisper exclusively to Mom, her attempt to make it audible over the sounds of clanking silverware meant you caught quiet words anyway. They're not friends. He said so. As parents, we can only try, and sometimes we fail. Not all kids will be thick as thieves. Now, less talking, more eating, kids. You need to clean up and start winding down for bed soon. But Mom! No buts. We talked about this. Your bedtime will be moved back in a few years. For now, you don't get to stay up late. Please stop looking at us like you're going to murder us. Lizzie sulked. We're gonna end up in the basement. I think we're all gonna end up sleeping chained in the basement. Gonna cut out our spleens. Lizzie sulked, muttering under her breath about how it wasn't right. You laughed at Mom's phrasing. You groaned about it as well. Stay quiet and finish your meal. No, I don't want to go to bed. It seemed way too early to go to sleep. I agree.
Isn't that great?
The sooner you sleep, the sooner a brand new day will be here. I think that's pretty exciting. You weren't sure you agreed. The rest of dinner passed by uneventfully. Cove was silent for the most of it, even when you nudged him and tried to get him to talk. All too soon, the table was cleared, the games in the living room were put away, and we were all steered to your bedrooms. Mom finished tucking you in and kissed your brow, just as Mommy poked her head in the room. All ready for lights off, you two? You were lying comfortably in your bed, the blanket hiked up under your armpits. Could kick it off later if it got too hot. Mom had set up sleeping bag on the floor for Cove, just beside your bed. He had already wiggled inside. You nodded for both of you in response to Mommy's question.
Good night.
Perfect. I'll go say goodnight to Lizzie then. Mom tweaked your nose, chuckled when you squawked in annoyance, and left. Mommy took her place, sitting on the edge of your bed.
Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams, sweetie. She pressed a soft kiss on your forehead. You giggled as strands of her hair fell forward and tickled you. Mommy smiled down affectionately at you. then moved her attention to Cove, who watched from his spot on the floor. Do you need anything before falling asleep, honey? What does your dad do? Sometimes he picks me up and lifts me really high, and he shakes his hands like he's gonna let go, but he catches me again. He keeps doing that until sometimes he does drop me on my bed. Other times he lowers me down and we pretend like I'm crashing. Cove had become pretty excited when talking about the nightly ritual he and his dad shared. Seemed to realize how animated he was and bashfully quieted. Oh, but I don't want to do that here. Aw, have fun. Though I think you're right, that might not be a good idea to do that tonight. Sleeping bag might not be a soft enough landing. If there's anything else, you can always ask me or 22, Other's mom. If there's anything else, you can always ask me or 22's other mom. But I'm the nicer one. Just don't tell her that. Yeah, the other one's a yandere and will murder you. She laughed good-naturedly and stood up.
Take care.
Sleep well, Cove. Night. Leaning against the door jamb, she rested a hand on the light switch and looked at you. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. We have bed bugs? Oh my god. Exterminate the house. We need to get an exterminator immediately. With a last smile, Mommy turned off the lights and stepped out, closing the bedroom door behind her. You listened to her footsteps fade as she walked down the hallway. But even as the sound vanished, your eyes stayed open. It was so exciting to have Cove spending the night. Cove? Yeah? I'm glad we're friends. Oh, thanks. Me too. It started when Cove sighed deeply. Turn your head to look in his direction. In the dark, you could only see a faint outline of a lump under the covers. Cove? What was that? Could you be less loud? What's wrong? Yeah, what's wrong? I can't sleep. Why not? He shifted, or at least you thought he did. You couldn't see anything, since your eyes were still adjusting to the dark, but you heard his sleeping bag rustle. I want to be in my bed. Oh. Cove sat up. Your eyes had gotten used to the low light level, so you could see him better. Should have told him to stop. Fucking stop, bro! Whatever you're doing there, stop it! I should have kicked him. That's what I should have did. Should have just kicked him in the face. Cut it out! I know. Let's lift him up. Let's pick him up like his dad does. Stop, drop, and roll. Just like zip him up in the sleeping bag and just roll him while he's sleeping. He got out of the sleeping bag, wobbled toward your side of the table, and pulled open the top drawer. What is it? I'm getting my glasses. You sat up too, watching as he reached inside. He paused for a second, then pulled his hand out. Instead of his glasses, though, he was holding a book. Cove turned it around in his hands, trying to figure out the proper orientation for it. You know, even without reading the title, which one it was, that was one of your mom's. That was one your moms would read to you. It was special. Be careful, that's mine. I thought you were looking for your glasses. You can't see without your glasses. I was. Then I felt this. It looks cool. The compliment he afforded your special book had you grinning, the confusion forgotten. It is really cool. Oh yeah? What is it about? It's a story about a squire who wants to become a knight, and there's magic. Does it have mermaids? No, but I love the main character because the squire's really brave and funny. And it's cool pictures. Some of them even take up the whole page. Mommy reads it to me. She uses different voices for every character. There's a dragon in it, and crazy things happen. Ooh, I like dragons. Yay, dragons. Squire tries to kill her because the king wants the dragon dead. So they have this fight. But Squire finds out the dragon's really nice. They decided they don't want to fight after all. So the two of them become friends instead. Cove looked excited by your words. He flipped the book over and focused on the backside summary. You must be pretty interested in it. You were reminded of the hours you'd spent hearing the tales, no matter how many times you read it, or had it read to you. You were still entertained by the story and pictures inside. Glanced out the window. The moon was high in the sky. It's definitely the time when you were supposed to be asleep. Couldn't keep staying up. You wanted to read the book with Cole. Hell yeah! Hello, we're gonna sleep over. We're supposed to stay up late. Climbed out of bed and patted over your side of the table. You opened it and rummaged around, pushing aside stuffed toys and crayons. Cole called out to you in a confused whisper. What are you doing? You'll see. You let out a quiet cry of victory when you found out what you were looking for. You jumped back into the bed before any hidden boogeyman could catch you unaware. Cove continued to watch you. Are we under a blanket? Cove continued to watch as you wiggled your way beneath the blanket you discarded earlier. Put it up over your head. What? Come on, check it out. Bring the book too. Oh, after a minute, the bed dipped as Cove got on it. Then the blanket shifted. You fiddled with the flashlight in your grip, feeling for the switch. Oh, that's bright! With a click in a small space flooded with bright light. Cove sputtered, putting a hand up to shield himself from the beam. Move it somewhere else! Sorry. There we go. Tilted the flashlight so it was shining down toward the floor of your blanket cave and away from Ghost's sensitive eyes. Yeah, fucking rude. Scares me when he doesn't have his glasses on. Do you not recognize him? You don't recognize him without his glasses? Is that better? Yeah. Now we can read, and my moms won't know. I do this all the time. When mom or mommy checked on me, I have to hide everything under the blanket, but I haven't been caught before. You want to try? Cove nodded, pleased by his straightforward response. He placed the book between you and flipped it open to the first page. Yeah, they have really nice art. It's beautiful. Very well done. Meanwhile, he laid down on his belly and shuffled closer, picking up the flashlight to shine it on the pages. His face was illuminated by a warm glow. He mirrored his position, leaning in so you could see the book better. Your forehead's nearly brushed, until you shuffled back a comfortable distance. You wanted the story to be narrated. I thought it was best to take turns reading the book silently, flip through the pages to show Cove cool pictures. No, we need to narrate this story. You loved it when Mommy read to you. Why not read as loud as you dared this time of night? You didn't even need to study the page for long. There was once a squire who dreamed of knighthood. All they wanted to do good. All they wanted was to do good. And no words. You don't know words. Quiet. Cove was taken aback when you began to recite the words by heart. You even pronounced knighthood properly, a word which had given you grief in the past. His reaction encouraged you to keep going. Soon, you got to an exciting part. Squire and the dragon's first meeting. Squire walked up to the fearsome dragon, the borrowed sword in that one hand and a torch in the other. Red scales danced in the light and flickering flames. Could you say the dragon's lines? Do you need to get your glasses? No. It's my head hurts if I don't wear my glasses for a while. I can kind of see things alright, but I don't know any voices. It's okay. It's fun anyway. Let me just... Cove read the page, his mouth moving silently with the words. Eventually, he nodded to himself and spoke them out loud. Who goes there? Roared the dragon. Who dares enter my cave? It was your turn. You went into the squire's famous speech. Next time you looked up from the page, your gaze landed right on Cove. His eyes were following the text. Saw a smile lighting up his features. A lock of his hair fell into his field of vision, but he gave it no notice. He was lost in the story. You started when Cove caught you watching him. He raised a questioning eyebrow. What? Nothing. Cove shot you a strange look, but he went back to the book. You did too, even as your eyelids started to droop. When your eyes opened again, your bedroom was pitch black and silent. Your head was smushed in your pillow, your pajamas were sticking to you, and your mouth was dry. Slowly, you raised yourself onto your elbows. You yawned, back of your throat twinging as you did so. Rolled into your side to sit up in bed, planning on getting water from the kitchen, and you saw a dark shape towering above you. You froze. Then you remembered you weren't alone in your room tonight. Cove? That you? Why is he up? Why is he up just staring at us in our bed? In my bed. Yeah. You shifted and felt something cylindrical press against your thigh. You fumbled for it. The familiar weight of the flashlight pressed into your palm as you turned it on. Cove blinked at you, looking exhausted. He was in his normal clothes again, shoes and everything. His pajama pants were left on the floor abandoned. His sleeping bag was in a similar state. What is it? Can't sleep. I keep waking up. Did you have a bad dream? He shook his head from side to side. No, just can't sleep. It's weird here. He frowned. He helped your mom's redecorate it only a few months back. I like my room. Was he gonna run away? We didn't do run away. He just wants to go back home into his bed. It's not that it's bad. Just always sleep in my bed, in my room. That made things a little clearer. It wasn't anything that you'd done. Cove couldn't sleep in a new place. He wondered how long it took for Cove's bedroom in his new house to not be weird to him. Probably a while. I'm gonna go. What? Running away from the sleepover. That shook off the last of your doziness. He was going to walk outside back to his own house, this time of night, all by himself? He noted your shocked expression and looked at you with resolve. My dad will let me in. I got outside late before, and I have to go. Oh. Damn. I don't know. Well, I'll go with you.
Why?
Why? I can't do it myself. And then you'd have to go all the way back here from my house. I want us to stay together more. Yeah, I want us to stay together more. I want to hang out with you, Cove. Cove looked at you quietly, as if contemplating something before nodding his head.
Okay.
Okay. With that, Cove casually crouched down to collect his pajama pants. We're relieved he didn't mind you coming. Just ask Moms to walk him home? I mean, I guess. But they're probably asleep right now. Leave them be. We've snuck out before. We can do it again. We got this. Are you getting the rest of your stuff too? Like your toothbrush? I don't know where my mom's put it all. No, just this. Could understand that. You didn't really need anything right now. Could always pick up his things tomorrow. Cove visited your house during the day all the time. You grabbed the flashlight and waited by the door. Soon, Cove joined you. The two of you crept out into the hallways silently as you could. You sidestepped the loose floorboards at the end of the hall, alerting the Cove to it as well. Apart from that, you had no problems making it to the front door. Everybody was in their rooms, so the rest of the house was abandoned. It was brighter outside. Here, some of your other neighbors had lights coming through their windows. Still, it felt better with your flashlight turned on, pointed in the direction you were walking. There was no sound apart from the chirping of crickets and the crunch of some loose sand that got all the way up the street from the beach. After a while, it was almost soothing. You thought back to your unlocked front door and hoped one of your moms didn't wake up. If they locked it or checked in on you, or both, you'd be in a lot of trouble. Surprisingly, it was Cove who broke the deep silence. This was my first sleepover. Really? I've had sleepovers before. Sometimes I'll go to Grandma and Grandpa's house. Shiloh slept over a few times too, and other stuff. Cove remained quiet. Silence stretched between you, but it didn't feel like awkward right now. You didn't feel the need to break it immediately. How was it? Or is it? It's not bad. I like reading your book. You did? Kinda thought you weren't having fun. You didn't really say anything when we were eating. I don't know what to say. Oh. Now you were the one who didn't know what to say. You said nothing. You just lit the path ahead. Two of you kept walking side by side, shadows stretching across the concrete. In almost no time at all, you arrived. Cove's house loomed above you. Windows dark. Mr. Holden must be sleeping, just like everyone else in your own family. Are you sure your dad's gonna open the door? Yeah, he wakes up real easy. As if to demonstrate, he rang the doorbell. A couple minutes passed, and you wonder if Cove was wrong. Then the front door unlocked and cracked open. Out came his dad. Why are you shirtless? Just, come on, you couldn't put a shirt on? Mr. Holden wasn't wearing all his clothes. His hair wasn't up in a ponytail, like normal either. Felt a little bad to disturb him when he definitely had not been expecting anybody. His eyes had been narrowed into tight slits, yet they opened wide when he saw you and Cove. Kids? What in the world are you doing? Everything okay? I couldn't sleep. Cove said my room was weird. Miss Holden blinked, his features still twisted in panic. Then he closed his eyes and let out a deep breath. Right. Well, that is a shame. What's done is done. Come on inside, son. We can talk about what happened in the morning. Okay. Cove yawned while accepting the terms without complaint. Thank you for dropping him off, 22. I think you'll have to be a part of the conversation, Moral. But we'll deal with what to do next time. Next time. Yeah. Now, let me walk you back. It's not safe for you to be out here this late by yourself. He moved a step past you, but you shook your head. I'll be fine, Mr. Holden. My house is right here. I have a flashlight. Mr. Holden remained where he was, his brow furrowed, placed a hand on Cole's shoulder blade. Then I'll stand right here. Cove and I will be your lookouts. We'll close our door once you've made it back inside. You nod your head in compromise. Have a good night. Take care. Yeah, don't walk with me, weird dude. I don't want to be seen with you. I don't want people to think that we're associated. Mr. Holden waved you off. As you turned, your eyes met Cove's, still standing behind his dad. His lips turned up at the corners. He spoke in an almost whisper.
Bye.
Bye, number 22. Thanks for coming. Shirtless weird dude. Yeah, I don't want to be seen with a shirtless weird dude. Flashlight clutched in your hand. You jogged back over to your home. You did feel better knowing Cove and his dad were watching to make sure nothing happened. Once you got to your front door, you glanced over to see the two waiting. You waved. Faintly, you saw Cove wave back. You quietly closed the door behind you, smiling to yourself. Then you tiptoed to your bedroom. The flashlight was returned to your drawer in its rightful place. Although Cove had to go back home in the end, he still considered the sleepover to be quite a success. You did hope that next time he'd be able to stay the whole night, whenever next time came along. Next morning, you were woken by the sound of Mom's voice and a soft shake in your shoulder. Number 22, wake up. It's time to get up at Adam. The sun was peeking through your curtains, and you rubbed your eyes as they adjusted to new light. Cove's already out of bed. You blinked at her for a moment, confused, till you caught the empty sleeping bag on the ground and remember what happened during the night. But I didn't see him out there. I wonder where he's gotten off to so early. You hesitated, giving him a look with your mouth hanging half open as your mind processed what to tell her.
Everything okay?
22, is everything okay? Cove couldn't sleep. He said my room was weird. What? Where is Cove now? Did he sleep on the couch? Mom was still looking at you expectantly, but as you started to explain what had happened, you were interrupted by Mommy calling from downstairs saying Mr. Holden was at the door. You could tell by the way that Mom's forehead crinkled that she was even more concerned. When she turned her head to you pulled back the covers and jumped out of bed to follow her. Cliff, how are you? Mom joined Mommy at the door, while you hovered at the bottom of the stairs and peeked around the corner. Saw Cove's dad standing just outside, a sheepish smile on his face. He was alone, and you wondered if Cove was alright. I don't want to alarm you both, but Cove showed up back home in the middle of the night, and he wasn't alone. He rubbed the back of his neck anxiously. He must have felt bad about sharing the news. Mr. Holden kind of reminded you of Cove in that moment. Your moms exchanged a matching pair of surprised looks, Mommy gasping and covered her mouth with a hand. Two of them looked your way. You quickly ducked back behind the wall. The boy and I made sure 22 got back safe, but Cove wouldn't tell me what happened. I thought you might have a little more insight. We didn't hear a thing during the night. I noticed Cove was gone just minutes before you arrived. Is he alright? We're so sorry. We'll be having a talk with 22 about this for sure. Mr. Holden pulled his lips into a tight smile and held up his hands as if to say it wasn't their fault. It's fine. I just wanted to find out more before having another talk with him. I should have known he wasn't ready to spend the night at someone else's house. I felt bad for Mr. Holden. He looked so sad. They discussed the event for a little bit longer, parents promising to call him if they found out more. When Mr. Holden finally said goodbye, you heard Mom calling your name. Immediately, you panicked. wondering if you should find somewhere to hide. There was a growing sense of dread in your stomach that you were about to get into a lot of trouble. Your moms found you eventually, though you were relieved to see they didn't look very angry. They did, however, look very, very worried.
That's ridiculous.
What were you thinking, 22? Why'd you tell us something was wrong? Why'd you leave the house? You toed the ground in front of you, refusing to look at them. I'm sure you were just trying to help him. But you know it's dangerous to go outside at night without a parent, don't you? Doesn't he live, like, across the street? They watched us. They watched us walk into our house. Like, it's not that far. It's fine. Nodding your head, you couldn't do much more than listen as your parents explained how dangerous it had been for you and Cove to wander to his house on your own. Personally, you don't think it was that bad, since Cove only lived across the road. But you didn't tell your moms that. Yeah, for real. He's across the street. Like, chill, ladies. You're already enough trouble as it was. So when they asked you to promise to tell them something like that next time, you nodded your head in agreement. Even though it was a little unfair, you accepted the punishment that you weren't allowed to have any sleepovers until you could prove that that you were responsible enough. You were determined to show them that you could be trusted. Nah, we're gonna sneak out again. When you saw Cove next, you were sorry you had gotten in trouble. After hearing a similar lecture, Cove got away with warning from his dad. Mr. Holden felt the negative experience was enough already, and Cove didn't need additional punishments. In the end, the two of you and your parents were eventually able to move past the ill-fated sleepover. It had all been a learning experience according to the adults. You could accept that. There are definitely things you learned from it. And hopefully, one day, you and Cove will finally be able to have a successful sleepover. Yay! Sleepover success. Let's do it. We'll get there. We'll be able to sleep over one day. You know, we probably could have just slept over at his house. Actually, no. I want to be in a house with Mr. Holden. You don't want to be in the house with a weird dude. You know what? They wanted us to prove that we're responsible. So we're going to immediately run away. We're not responsible. How could you? How could you ever think that? It was early, and you were on your way to the playground. Lizzie planned on joining you there later. You weren't sure she was busy right now. Older kid stuff, you imagine. How much older is she? She's only like a year older than us. 1 year or 2 years? I'm not sure. It was okay. What was forefront in your mind was if Cove might be free to come too. As you walked the familiar street, wondering how you might find your neighbor, he appeared right in front of you, almost as if he was a mind reader. Hi, Cove. Can you come to the playground with me? You have tea? Nice. No, sorry. Cove looked strangely serious. It had to be an even bigger deal than whatever mystery thing Lizzie had to do. I'm leaving, 22. What? Where? Shifted, and your gaze was drawn to the backpack slung over his shoulders. Cove liked to stuff things into his pockets from what you've seen, but people sometimes carried bags with them. It hadn't been very attention-worthy until now. The pack was decorated with cartoon waves and dolphins. He gripped one of the straps tightly with his good hand. I just wanted you to know. Cove didn't glance up to meet your eyes. He started to grow worried. I don't get it. Where are you going? Where are you going? He didn't answer. It was as if you hadn't said anything. I'll come back though, sometime. I don't know when, but we can do stuff then. He directed a fragile smile in your way. Without another word, Cove turned his heel and started to walk away. Wait, where the hell are you going? He kept going. His focus wasn't on you anymore. What was that about? He watched as his back grew smaller and smaller. Then you realized you were still standing in the middle of the sidewalk. You thought about your early plan of playing at the park. Suddenly, it didn't seem as fun anymore. Not without Cove. But it wasn't like you could force him to play with you. He had things to do. Yeah, I'm just gonna go play at the park. was still sad Cove wouldn't be there, but you wanted to stick with the plans you had on your own. Maybe Cove and his dad were going on vacation? That had to be it. Your reason. After all, Cove said it was going to be back. It wasn't moving again. You resolved to spend time with Cove when you saw him next time for sure. After a couple of hours at the playground by yourself, it had gotten firmly into the afternoon. You were on the swing set with your feet buried in the sand when you spotted Lizzie in the distance. She was rushing over like something was on her tail, chasing her. You knew she would be coming, but was she this excited to get to the park? Instead of nabbing the swing beside yours, Lizzie stopped in front of you, bent over, balanced her hands on her knees, and panted. You here? Hear what? Lizzie bounced back up, her eyes blown wide. You only saw her this worked up when she found a new hiding place of Mom's sugar stash. It's about Cove. Cove? Something in the pit of your stomach dropped, hearing his name. You listened intently as Lizzie explained. I just came out when I saw lots of people gathering around in the middle of the street. They were talking kind of quietly, so I don't think I was supposed to hear, but it just means it was important. So I stuck up, and I heard everything. She paused dramatically. Clearly she wanted you to say something. What did you hear? Seeing that she had your attention, Lizzie continued. Cove is missing. Left a piece of paper for Mr. Holden to tell him he was going away and would be gone for a long time, and no one's seen him since. Now they're searching the whole neighborhood. The grown-ups were even saying that if they don't find Cove soon, they'll call the police. The police? It was horrible. You'd seen Cove. You knew he was going someplace, but you had no idea it was like that. Was Cove going to be arrested for running away? Thought you might have to go to jail too, for not saying anything and letting him go? Oh no, we didn't stop a child from running away. Us, a child, did not stop another child from running away. We're all getting arrested. Glance back at Lizzie. Should you tell her that you known about Cove leaving? Would it be better to keep it to yourself? No, I'll tell her. I don't think we're getting arrested. Actually, Lizzie, I saw Cove. He told me he was gonna go before I went to the park. We are definitely getting arrested, absolutely. Now that Lizzie knows, we shouldn't have said anything. Now she's in on it. Now she's getting arrested too. What? Really? You nodded seriously. Oh, you know, you could be in big trouble if a grown-up found out you didn't tell anybody that Cove was being weird. She crossed her arms over her chest, sticking her nose into the air. Lizzie, you little dingus.
You're welcome.
You're lucky I won't tell on you. You're welcome. He scoffed. Thanks, Lizzie. Thanks. Thanks for not snitching. You were happy that Lizzie had your back. She always did when it came to potential trouble. She just grinned at her own interpretation of her favor. You watched as your sister began to pace in front of you. I know Mom said Cove was sad about moving here, but running away from home is crazy.
Jeez.
Where else is he gonna go anyway? I don't know. I want to find him. Hope someone finds him soon. Yeah. I go to tons of places. I want to find him. Yeah, I want to find him. That's my little buddy. Lizzie scrunched her face up, thinking deeply for a moment. Then she nodded and planted her hands in her hips, determined. I'm gonna look too. Ah, thanks, Lizzie. You are?
Mm-hmm.
You can play at the park any day. And the more people there are looking, the quicker someone will find him. Maybe I'll be the one who does. I'm the best hide and seek after all. It seemed like Lizzie wanted to look not only because she was concerned about Cole, but also because it was the most interesting thing to happen this week. So she's just doing it because she's bored. Yeah, I'm surprised she cares at all. Wish me luck. Good luck at your extreme game of hide and seek. Before you could say anything, she ran off in the opposite direction from where she came. You were left in the dust in a matter of moments. That was your sister for you. But Lizzie's appearance in this crisis faded back in your mind just as quickly. Cove. Told his dad he was leaving to go somewhere by himself. Why did Cove suddenly decide to do that today? Did something bad happen? It was impossible to say for sure. Unfortunately, you had no idea where he could have gone. You saw him walk off. Go in that direction. Thought hard. There were the hills behind your house. He had gone there the first time you met. But someone would have checked there already. They wouldn't need the police for that. Cove must be far away, or hiding somewhere. The whole neighborhood was looking for him. He swung back and forth, your lips pursed in contemplation. If I were Cove, where would I go? Lizzie had said Cove was crazy for running away from home, but he never considered Sunset Bird his home, did he? His real home was somewhere else. There was only one place that came to mind that might be important enough for Cove to go off like this. It's a good idea, except how was he going to get there? Could he take a bus? Was he going to walk the whole way? You don't know what direction he needed to take, but wait, there was only one way he could go. Going down the street just led to the beach, so that couldn't be right. Going to either side would mean that he gets stuck by buildings and fences and big slopes, like the one behind your house. That left going up the street. He knew that road. It led to the main part of the town, kept going all the way to city limits. Cove didn't know the area well. He didn't think he'd want to go off that road onto some random other street. Which meant, if someone followed that path, they might find him somewhere along it. Grown-ups seemed to all be looking in the neighborhood, so... Okay, we should tell the adults, but I kind of want to go find him myself. Also, to beat Lizzie. I also want to beat Lizzie at this extreme game of hide and seek. Be safe. We'll be safe as we go look for him. I want to find him. I want to go find him. Shouldn't tell anyone yet, just in case you were wrong. Go check it out yourself. Yeah, we could be wrong, and he could still be in town. Rushed to where you had abandoned your flip-flops and slipped them on, slapped against the sand as you left the playground. Went right up along the main street, keeping an eye out for Cove. No one else had the same idea as you, it seemed, because you were completely alone there. That's surprising. Passed through your whole neighborhood, and then the next one over, and the next. You put one foot in front of the other, focusing on your surroundings as you did. Cove had a head start, so you didn't know how far he could have gotten. Couldn't get distracted. Kept walking. Even called out for Cove a few times. But you didn't see that familiar mop of green hair anywhere. After a while, the sun began to dip out of the sky. It would be dark soon. There was still no sign of your neighbor. You weren't even in the residential district by this point. You had reached the central part of town. The area was at once strange and familiar. Been here before, of course, but never without your moms close by. They would drive you. You were going disheartened. There was possibility that he was further ahead, but there were countless other places to potentially check too. Cove. 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 Where are you? He shouted his name a few times, as you had done periodically this entire time, but there was nothing. Maybe he's not going this way. Was he somewhere else? Had someone found him already? He turned back. I don't know. I think we should keep going forward. He was way ahead of us. He was like hours ahead of us. You were able to make it this far. You had to continue the search. With that in mind, you pushed yourself to walk a little faster. People said this was a really tiny town, but to you it felt absolutely gigantic. Eventually, the business part of town ended too. There was no sidewalk anymore, only a long expanse of road. You walked to the grass instead. Onward was the only option. Your journey stubbornly continued. Your feet hurt, you were tired, you were on your own, but somehow you had reached the very edge of Sunset Bird. That's what the sign told you. You had lived in Sunset Bird forever. There was very rare occasion that you'd see this sign. Most everything in your life happened inside the city limits. The endless road ahead seemed scary in a way. It paralyzed you, and finally put an end to your forward momentum. Scanned your surroundings instead of dwelling on it. Deeply hope he hadn't gone past the sign either. Cove, are you here? Previous times you'd called his name, there had been no answer. You couldn't be surprised that one didn't come this time either until... number 22? Dark blob just behind one of the exit signs' legs shifted, squinted as it continued to move. The more you started, the more your eyes adjusted, and the mere dark blob resembled a person, and you realized just who it was. It was Cove. He was here. You actually found him. Hell yeah, found him. You can't hear? Aw, I'm sorry, Umi. Oh, I'm glad you get to see it. You can read it. He hesitantly got up from where he'd been sitting, as if to make sure he had actually heard something. Then he caught sight of you, his eyes wide behind his glasses. There you are! Are you crazy? I knew you'd be here. Just as stunned. There you are! There you are! Cole finally blinked as you ran up to him, your feet still aching. How did you find me? You said you were leaving. You always wanted to go back home. So I thought you must have come this way. Oh. And that was all he said. After all this, maybe he didn't realize how serious adults were taking it. What are you gonna do now? Are you okay? We should head back now. I want to make sure he's okay. Yeah. He didn't look okay. His brows were pinched and his shoulders tense. You got the feeling pointing that out wouldn't help matters. Everyone's looking for you. That caught his attention. He frowned at you.
Really?
They are? Yeah, the whole neighborhood. Lizzie told me they might even call the police. You might get arrested. We might get arrested. What? Why? I don't know. Because you tried to run away, probably? And I knew, so I'm your, accomplice? Was that the word? You thought so. You'd heard it before on those detective shows one we like to watch. We're not gonna be arrested. Although Cove said that, he looked a little worried over the news. Come on, Cove, let's go home.
No.
Nope. He spoke crossly. You were thirsty and exhausted, and you weren't sure you could keep going back and forth about this. Why not? How come? Why can't we just go? You're stupid. I don't understand why you can't go back. Oh yeah, we're definitely getting arrested. Are you sure we won't get arrested? You don't know. Yeah, Cove, you don't know. Okay. I'm just gonna go, why not? Your shout caused him to flinch, but not enough to budge. At first, Cove was quiet. He started to think he wouldn't say anything. Then he spoke. My mom called today to check up on me and stuff. Cove's definitely getting arrested. He asked, Cove's gonna have a record. Cove's getting arrested, the next time we see him, he's a teenager. That's how this works. She asked what Sunset Bird was like, and how I was doing. It was okay. But when I asked if she'll come here, Mom said she couldn't. I can't go back either. Not right now. She has to move somewhere else first. Cove glared at the ground. His voice cracked as he continued.
It's not fair.
Why can't I even see her anymore? He used his uncasted arm to rub both of his eyes. Aw, it's so sad. I'm gonna go myself. I don't need anyone to take me. Yeah, you definitely need someone to take you. The mom should get arrested? Maybe? How are you gonna get to your mom's place? It felt just too much and you started to cry. Yeah, how are you gonna get there? He just wanted to see his mom. Maybe you would have had the idea to run away too, if you were Cove. That doesn't mean it'll work. I'll walk there. I brought supplies. Isn't it really far? Cove was silent for a moment. Poked a hole in his perfect plan. Then he shook his head, like he was trying to clear it. When he spoke some more, it was mostly to himself. If I don't go see Mom, then she's... Fresh tears glistened in Cole's red-rimmed eyes. He stubbornly tried to blink them away, but they slipped down his cheeks. He frowned at the sight. No matter what, he hated seeing him cry. What'll happen? Mom doesn't call that much, and I haven't seen her in so long. Cove hiccuped, wiping his face with the back of his arm. Glasses got shoved up awkwardly as a result. Poor kid. I feel so sorry for Cove. If I don't go, she'll be gone. She'll forget about me. Aw, she won't forget about you. I'm sure she won't. There's your mom. She loves you. She wouldn't do that. How do you know? She's your mom. She loves you. Exactly what I just said. Your mom's always said that. Yeah, your mom's always said that, so it must be true for Cove's mom, too. Cove sniffed. He seemed conflicted. I'm not sure that's right. You were at a standstill. Everything will be okay if we just go home. We can't stay here forever. We can't go there. We gotta go back. I'm sorry, I'm not standing out here with you. Love you, Cove, but I'm not. We've already gone too far. My feet hurt. Cove's brows furrowed and scowl appeared on his lips. He turned away from you. He stared at his back. He couldn't just stop. Yeah, she wouldn't have called if she didn't care. Please, Cove. After a few minutes of sullen silence, Cove twisted it back around. He wouldn't look at you in the eye. Okay, let's go. I don't want you to get in trouble. I don't want something bad to happen. He was doing it for you? That gave you a warm feeling inside, even if you wished he didn't want to leave in the first place. And that was that. Together you walked away from the exit sign. Feet hurt a lot by this point, and you were so tired, but you convinced him. You were bringing Cove home, and that's what mattered. A long walk back. It was only thanks to the occasional street lamp and faint moonlight that you could see in the dark night. You were content to stick close together. Sometimes your drowsy walk caused one of you to almost bump into each other. The back of your hand brushed his. You held on to Cove's hand. Notice Cove took hold of your hand. No touchy. No touchy the merchandise. So, we're just trying to wake up right now. Two of you continued down the street. You wondered if everyone was still looking for Cove, and you too, probably. Do you think they called the police after all? No, probably not. He didn't sound confident, though. You still hoped he was right. You didn't want to go to jail. You weren't sure how much time passed. All you knew was that one moment you were fighting and the drooping of your eyelids while shuffling near Cove on the sidewalk, and the next you were snapped back to attention by the blaring beep of a horn. Cove froze. You whipped around to see a car approaching you. It's difficult to make out who it was. The headlights were so blinding. Instead of continuing down the road, the car slowed near where you were sat. The window rolled down, revealing the face behind the wheel. It was very familiar. Mom? She shouted back, not just because there was some distance between you and her. Where have you kids been? Been looking everywhere for you. Just trying to help Cove. She stopped looking at you, instead staring hard straight ahead. Both her hands were gripping the wheel. Guilt ate you up from the inside. Get in. Let's get you two home. Yay! We're responsible! Can we have another sleepover, Mom? That, at least, made her showing up worth it. Your feet were aching like crazy from all the walking you'd done today. I can imagine. You yanked open the side door, slipped inside the back seat, then clambered all over so Code had enough room to climb into. He followed in wordlessly, tucking his backpack near his feet. Mom looked at you and Cove from the rearview mirror. Two of you had us extremely worried. That wasn't a good thing to do. Not at all. Shamefaced, you both nodded as one.
Sorry.
I know, our poor parents. Sorry, Miss Model. Sorry, Mom. She softened immediately. Not enough to actually let it go, though. You'll have to apologize to everyone else, too. With that, Mom started the car up again, and you were off. For the rest of the car ride, no one said anything. Thought all of you were pretty tired. In fact, you must have dozed off at some point, because you woke up to the sound of the engine stopping. When you opened your eyes, you realized Cove was looking over at you. He was tense. We're back. You yawned and got out of the car. Cove came out after, putting his backpack on again. Mom locked the car door and motioned you two toward the house. She opened the front door and let you go in first. Mommy appeared quickly. She must have been waiting nearby. There was a phone in her hand. It worried you, thinking about who she might have been talking to. The tight line of her shoulders relaxed when she saw you and Cove. Oh, thank goodness, you found both of them. Yes, I did. They were walking down the main street together. What were you two doing there at this time of night? Do you you have any idea how far that is? How unsafe? He peeked at Cove. He still looked exhausted. His eyes were puffy, and there were dry tear tracks stuck to his cheeks. I wanted to see my mom. Number 22 came to get me. Your own mom shared a look. You weren't sure what it meant, but they always did that. You wondered if they could read each other's minds. Absolutely. I'm sure married couples can read each other's minds. Since they were communicating telepathically, you saw a glance around the house. Lizzie wasn't anywhere in sight. Actually, are they married? There's no ring. Neither of them have a ring on. Domestic partnership. Anyway, is we outside somewhere searching for Cove still? Where's Lizzie? Your sister's in her room, fast asleep, same way you should have been. She came back earlier. She had been out looking for Cove after accidentally finding out he was missing. She tried to pretend otherwise, but she was worried. Said she'd check all the hiding places she could think of, but she couldn't find Cove. You and Cove exchanged remorseful glances at that. Mommy noticed the discomfort.
Okay.
You two must be sleepy. You can sit down wherever you like. Mommy smiled warmly and motioned to the living room. Cove looked up at her, then lumbered over. You followed close behind. The living room wasn't far, or separated by a wall, so you heard your mom's talking softly. He wanted to go see his mother. Poor thing.
Well,
It explains it at least. Still, I'm not sure it excuses it. It was so dangerous to go off into town like that. When he slept over here, he left in the middle of the night too. Yeah. Oh. Oh, so that happened before this. So we proved that we are responsible and can have another sleepover. Right, moms? Right? Right? Gave us quite the fright. But he's having a hard time right now. Can't expect the child to handle it maturely. True. Can't be helped. But that's enough of that. We should tell Cliff and the others that he's here before the panic gets out of hand. There could be riots.
Is that all right?
I'll call and go to the front and tell everyone's still out there. You keep an eye on the kids. Make sure they don't take any more trips today. Got it, hun. Cove just sat there on the couch, setting his backpack down beside him. He stared at his hands. I'm sorry, number 22. You faced him quietly. I didn't want to make you feel bad. I don't want to fight. And you won't do it again? Yeah, don't do it again, buddy. I won't. Not for real. Okay, I don't want to fight either. Having him apologize did make you feel better. You looked relieved that the two of you were going to be able to get past this. Cove and his wiggly eyebrows. I know. I don't know. I think they're cute. His wiggly eyebrows are... They're cute. Before you could say anything else, the front door opened. Your mom was back with Mr. Holden close behind her. He made a beeline to the couch, his gaze trained on his son.
Cove?
Oh, God, are you alright? Strands of his hair had fallen out of his ponytail. His eyes were darkened, like he'd been crying, too. Cove stared up at his dad, his own eyes wide behind the frames of his glasses. He really hadn't expected it to be such a big deal. You want me to get wiggly eyebrows? I don't think they'll look as good on me. I'm okay. Good. That's good. So glad to hear that. Clasped a hand on his son's shoulder, attempting a smile, but the corners of his lips twitched and spasmed, as if they wanted to welt into a frown instead. Cove seemed to have that effect on him. Mr. Holden turned to you, still smiling weakly. So happy you're alright too, 22. Then he looked at your moms. Thanks for your help, as always. He laughed pitifully.
I'm sorry.
I'm very sorry for ruining your afternoon with this. Can't apologize enough.
It's okay.
It was no trouble, Cliff. Really, couldn't be helped, in a way. Something was bound to happen sometime. Besides, he wasn't the only one who decided it was a good idea to disappear today. Exactly. We're just happy the kids are safe and sound. Not for the first time that day, you recalled your original meeting with Cove. He had run away then, too, only not as far as he had today. Cove must have had a similar thought, because he mumbled an apology. Sorry, Dad. I won't leave anymore. Promise. Some life still seemed to return to Mr. Holden thanks to his promise. This time around, his smile was more genuine.
I'm so glad.
That's a relief to hear. Next time you feel like running off, come to me first, okay? We can talk about it. I'm here for you. Cove nodded. His dad reached out and mussed his hair playfully. Although he made a face, Cove didn't try to dodge the hand as he usually did. Let's go home, bud. Bet you're as tired as I am. Mr. Holden took over carrying Cove's backpack, still clasping a free hand in his son's shoulders when he stood up from the couch. The 5 of you walked over to the front door so you could see them off. Mr. Holden thanked your moms profusely at least 3 more times before he walked out the door. Cove was made to follow, but he stopped and turned to you before stepping through the threshold.
Thanks.
Thanks, 22. You're welcome, Cove. Tiny smile flitted across his lips there and then gone. Glad you're okay. I'm glad you're okay. He began to sniffle again while looking at your face. I'm glad you're here. And with that, Cove left. Mommy closed the door behind them. You're practically dead on your feet at that point. Your fatigue must have been obvious, because your mom sent you right to bed with no more discussion on what happened that day. Yeah, they were so proud of how responsible we were. Once your head hit the pillow, your eyes slipped closed in on their own. Your eyelids were so heavy, you couldn't open them again until the next morning. You woke up much more at ease than you had felt you were last conscious. It was almost like it was a dream. But it definitely wasn't. Your mom's faces when you saw them assured that. After breakfast, you were sat down, and your family went over to yesterday's events in full. They were none too pleased that you went out to find Cove on your own. As punishment, your mom took away your TV privileges for the next few days. Lizzie was annoyed that she couldn't watch her shows with you around, but she adjusted. Listen, I'm just glad we won the game of hide and seek. Lizzie can bite it. Whenever you expressed disappointment, your moms reminded you that they weren't punishing you for no reason. It was dangerous to go out on your own so late, and without telling anyone. You could have gotten hurt, or worse. Wait, as upset as you were, you understood. No, I won the game. You're just jealous. Mr. Holden talked to Cove about what happened, too. He didn't know what was said exactly, but Mr. Holden forgave Cove immediately. He didn't do anything to punish Cove for running away. He blamed no one but himself for Cove's desire to leave home. I mean, yeah, Cove's just having a really hard time right now. He caught your moms discussing it once in hushed tones, frowning at each other. It was pretty serious. There was a word used you hadn't heard before. Self-flagellation. But there wasn't anything they could do to change Mr. Holden's mind. Neighbors stopped you and Cove often for the next week or so to express their concerns and disapproval of the event. Great. Now we're getting lectured by everyone. We're getting lectured by the entire town. Still, as they always did, days continued to pass. So did talk about Cove running away. Things eventually returned to normal, as they had to. Summer kept going, and you kept having experiences you shared with Cove. Oof. Okay. Get lectured, noob. Alright. 2 more left. I think we could probably get through one of them. I don't know if we can do both. We can get through one. There's the library or the barbecue. Which one do we want to do now? Which one do we want to leave for next time? I'm thinking barbecue. Let's make everyone hungry before we end. How about that? Library? You want the library? Sad. If you want the library, we could do the library. I just wanted to make everyone hungry before we ended. But alright, let's do the library. Every year, the Sunset Bird Memorial Library held a summer reading program. Your moms and Lizzie were big fans of it. Mom and Mommy became encouraged reading, and Lizzie because she could win prizes. When it came to what you thought of having to read a bunch of books and then going to the library was a competitive was I didn't read that right. When it came to what you thought of having to read a bunch of books and then going to the library with a competitive Lizzie. Sure. Why not? If it's a competition, sure. You like the library? Oh, nice. I kind of like the library. It's a nice place to chill out. I like getting work done there. That's what I like. Each time had been one of the highlights of your summer. Getting to hang out with Lizzie and Shiloh and learn new stuff was a lot of fun, even if Lizzie was super intense about it. You and Lizzie went with Shiloh before, and this year, you brought Cove too. His dad had been so over the moon about Cove being included that he'd driven all four of you. You had never been in Cove's dad's car before. Seemed a lot shinier than your mom's. After hurrying the group inside, Mr. Holden gave you all the wide wave with the arm that was as stingray. That has a stingray on it. Okay. Have fun, kids. Stay inside of the librarians, you hear? Wish I could watch you in action, but your poor old dad has to finish up some work.
I got it.
Though, I'm sure that won't get in the way. Heck, probably hold you kids back. There's potentially no reply from his son over what was likely meant only as a joke. Cole's dad seems to deflate a bit. I'll swing around again when this shindig ends. Yeah, you can go home now. Aw, you don't have to throw me out the door. Your sister, already in full competition mode, cut him off. For once, Cove looked grateful she was there.
Come on!
We have to go find a table. Mr. Holden, you can talk to Cove after, when we win. Okay. See you in about an hour. Have fun. Did I say that already? My advanced age is really catching up to me now. Bro, don't say that. I feel that too much. My advanced age has caught up to me.
Bye.
Bye, Dad. Get the fuck out. Nobody even likes you. You're creepy and weird. You were shirtless at one time. Get the fuck out. Bye, son. The four of you watched him shuffle out of the library, glancing over his shoulder at Cove more than once. Bye, Mr. Holden. Bye, Mr. Holden. Thanks you for bringing us. Thanks, Lizzie. I don't know what you're thanking me for. Are you copying Shiloh? Distracted, Cove was already glancing around the gigantic library. I want to go explore. What? I said I want to go look around and see what's in here. But the quiz starts soon. That's why we came. Wide at the first signs of conflict, Shadow's eyes started between Lizzie and Cove. Then you could do without me, right? You don't need a bunch of people. Didn't your dad say to stay with the librarians? Shouldn't go somewhere by yourself. Cove leveled an unimpressed stare at the both of them. Then his eyes met yours.
Hey!
Why are you looking at them? Number 22 is with us. 22 can come if they want to. I want to do the quiz. I do spend a lot of time with Cove. I don't know. The quiz sounds better. I think I want to do the quiz. Let's do the quiz. Come on, Cove. Enjoy the quiz with us. Lizzie's entire face lit up in a bright grin. You didn't take many things seriously, but the quiz really was fun, at least to you. But Cove, meanwhile, was making a face you couldn't read. Okay. You'll have fun, Cove. Come on. Not another word. He turned and walked away on his own. Hey! Come on! Join us! Once Cove was gone, Lizzie's mind was immediately stuck in the quiz again.
Alright!
Right! Let's win this one!
Alright!
I'll do my best. It took only a few minutes for your team to be set up with pencils and papers that had multiple choice questions to fill out. There were 10 normal ones and 2 bonus ones. Okay. You were glad everyone got their own paper. Groups had to share one. Lizzie would for sure write whatever she thought was best. From past experiences, you knew it wasn't worth it to try arguing with her about different answer ideas. You'll just have to pick what you think is best and leave Lizzie and Shiloh, who always agrees with her anyway, to choose their own things. First question. Wants to know what fruits was giant and shared a book title with a boy named James. James and the Giant Peach. I already got it. I should know this one, but you guys pick whatever you want. The starting answer you marked on the quiz was tomato, peach. Giant Peach. Easy. Simple. I remember that movie. I like that movie. It was fun. Gave Lizzie a tiny nod once you finished writing. Alright. What's question 2, Shiloh? Come on, let's keep going. This one asks, which member of the Bucket family is the protagonist who wins the trip to Willy Wonka's factory? Their name was Bucket? I remember their name is Bucket. Shiloh quietly repeated the big word to himself, all in one go. Maybe to make sure he got it right. Protagonist. That's the main character of the story.
Thank you.
Thanks. You're so smart, Lizzie. So, who is it? Charlie. Number 22. Right, Charlie. He looked at the back of the paper and wrote, Chadwick. That's it. It's Chadwick. It's Charlie. Without even giving your answer sheet a glance over, Lizzie scanned the question guide and looked at the next one. Kissin' Kate Barlow was famous for one type of makeup. He wants to know which one it was. I have no idea what this is. Nail polish, lipstick, blush. Blush? But isn't that not makeup? It's a normal thing.
You dumbo.
You can wear it on your face too. It's powdery red stuff.
Oh?
Oh. I don't know this book. Who's gonna guess? He looked at the option and picked. You know what? They made a point to talk about blush, so I'm gonna choose blush because I don't know what they're talking about. Alright, that's a cool name she's got. With that settled, Shiloh took it upon himself to check the next question. Oh, I don't like this one. Who was the mean green man with terrorized? The green man that terrorized Whoville. It means he bullied them really badly and was terrible. You know everything. That was a little funny since Lizzie said she didn't know something just on the last question. Did you not hear that part? Charlotte could be kind of weird sometimes. Without even listening to her eager audience, Lizzie turned to you and pointed at the one of the options.
Okay.
It was the Grinch. Pick that one. Put your pencil to paper and marked the Grinch. You marked down the Grinch as the bully you picked on Whoville. By the time you finished writing, your sister was already on to the next one. Which of these stories was not written by Hans Christian Andersen? One of these is The Little Mermaid. That's an ocean book. Cove is gonna be sorry he didn't do the quiz. Heh. You bet he wishes he didn't go off by himself. Since those two were focused on talking about Cove while he wasn't here, decided to check for yourself what was written. So Little Mermaid, Cinderella, or Thumbelina? Good question. I'm not sure. Cinderella, Thumbelina. Anyone else know this? Because I don't. I don't know the answer to this one. I'm gonna go with Thumbelina. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with Thumbelina. Thumbelina was your choice. Okay, now what? It's question 6. We're so far. Yeah, we're in good time. The other groups are probably still in question 3, but this one, we just gotta answer. You didn't hear the question? It was which story was not written by Hans Christian Andersen? What's the name of the Darling family sister who flies with Peter Pan in the first book? Oh, that's Wendy. Joe sounds like Jojo. That's a good name. Your cat's name? Who would name their book character after your cat? I think it's Wendy.
All right.
Right. It's gotta be Wendy. I was only saying. You went with Lisa. No, let's go with Joe. I'll go with Joe. It's Wendy. Lizzie wasn't showing any signs of slowing down, and she went right into the next one. Jeez, can we have a breather?
I know.
Cub, Tiny Bear, and Baby Bear. Which one was one from Goldilocks and the Three Bears? That's easy. Lizzie confidently marked down a choice. This time she hadn't declared her thoughts out loud. Shiloh moved to right as well, stopping only briefly to check over Lizzie's shoulder, just in case. You're certain he wanted their quizzes to be exactly the same. Friends always match. That's what he likes to believe. You decided that the best sounding answer was Baby Bear, obviously. That one's easy. Baby Bear made the most sense to you. Hey, next one is only a question. They're all questions, Shiloh. I meant, it says, I'm late for a very important date. Who am I? Oh. The answers were all animals with colors. Ah, I remember. Is the Alice story with the white rabbit. I really,
Really?
Really? What?
It's okay.
I just thought that I just thought that was it. But we don't have to go with that one. It's okay. The animal who was always running away late was the white rabbit. That one's easy. I'm late for a very important date. No time to say hello, goodbye. I'm late. Lizzie watched you finish writing a bit her lips at the next question. Writing and bit her lip at the next question. The Narnia stories of books ended with one girl being, hey! Is this the real ending? I didn't think that the last book yet.
Jeez.
I'm not looking at this list. I'm not looking. Write something down for both of us. Pulled the paper away from Lizzie's dramatic show of covering from her face and turning away. Out of the girls who visited the books, the one left out of Narnia in the end was... I believe it's Lucy? I don't know who the hell Polly Plummer is. I don't remember if there was a Sue. Was there a Susan? But I want to say Lucy. Let's just go with Lucy. I don't know. Poor Lucy. But you checked her full name and glanced up at Lizzie again. Are you done? Yep. Here, I'll read the next one.
Thanks.
Thanks. Shiloh lit up with delight at the word and cleared his throat. The middle initial B in Child Detective Junie B. Jones' name stands for what? Susan? Can we go back?
Yep.
There we go.
Yep. Thanks.
I'll trust your judgment on this one. I have no idea. Junie B. Jones' name stands for what? Your older sister slumped forward with a sigh. So many different book questions. No one could have read them all.
Sorry.
Sorry, Lizzie. You guessed that the B in Junie B. Jones stood for? I don't friggin' know. Beatrice. I'm going with Beatrice. I don't friggin' know. Junie Beatrice Jones? The other two put something down as well. The next one is a bonus question. We're almost done. It's 2 bonus questions, right? Oh yeah. We can make up anything we missed on this one for the next one. It's not really a book question, though. Sun being blocked out by the moon was a phenomenon called... They put some astronomy books on the bonus reading list. I haven't gotten to them either. Is Beatrice? I think that's what I put.
Right?
But I think it's a solar eclipse. It blocks out the sun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Solar eclipse. Yes. Sun being blocked out by the moon was a phenomenon called solar eclipse, you decided. Your teammates had kept on trucking forward to reading the final bonus question.
What?
This one is even less in our reading list. Huh? How? Fill in the remaining letters to complete the title of the book that's a classic of English children's literature. The Secret Garden. Okay, good. It is the one I picked. Game, guess, garden? I have no idea. Why are all these last questions so bad? Shiloh glanced down at his lap and started twiddling his thumbs. think he wanted to apologize again, but the words were left unsaid. On the list of G words you went with, it's garden. Secret garden. I never read it, don't know anything about it, but I know I've heard it before. Secret garden had a nice ring to it. I'm finished. With all the questions answered, Lizzie beamed. Okay, we need to go hand these in. We need to go hand these in. I can do it. Here. He snatched up Lizzie's, and even our own paper and hurried up to hand it over to the judge. Lizzie decided to get up from the table too. Hey, number 22?
It's not as much fun without you.
Aw, thanks for doing this again. It's not as much fun without you. You have to do it every year. Aw, Lizzie. Aw, she likes us. I'm gonna throw another cushion at you. Lizzie grinned, just in time to prevent you from saying anything else. Charlotte skipped back over. All done. It'll be a couple minutes. Sorry, but I asked them to come to us first. That's smart. Cove's dad should be here soon. Yeah, he does like to be late. Ah! He just pops out of nowhere. As though he was a ghost, Cove suddenly appeared standing behind Lizzie.
Hi.
Hi, Cove. I guess your dad isn't like the rabbit. When did you get here? He shrugged. A while ago. My one question about the classic book was the secret garden. Oh. Lizzie huffed, her eyes rolling on the side. Must not have picked the answer. They must not have picked that answer. And the revelation seemed to end the conversation. However, you sat at your table and waited. Now that you were close to the scores, Lizzie's mood had gone right back to being just as intense as before. She wanted to win something at least. You could tell that Cove was kind of thankful he hadn't stuck around to compete. Finally, the librarian came up to the table with a basket of prizes. Group 6. You kids did so well. Here's a poster, some temporary tattoos, and stickers as well. Thank you for participating. Yay! We won! Lizzie snatched up the prizes and clutched them to her chest. Her smile was polite, but her eyes were all competitive fire.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to win first place next year. Why are you scaring me? Boy. Boy. Thank you for that. That's the spirit. I'll be looking forward to seeing you all then. Prizes delivered. The librarian wandered off to go let other groups know how they'd done, right as Cole's dad spotted you from between two bookshelves. Hey kids, how'd you do? Might have won first place if Cove had stayed, but he didn't, so he didn't. Huh? You left Cove? I wanted to look around. But your friends. It's okay. Lizzie's really smart. And 22 of them Cove too. Wasn't this fun? Your sister looked down at her prize, then flashed her best, friendliest fake smile at Mr. Holden. It sure was. Those stickers were probably going to end up all over the house.
That's...
Even so. Next time you should... Cove? Cove? Cove's dad glanced around, slightly frantic. Cove, just like always, had snuck off without thinking to say anything. Just like, need to keep an eye on him. He'll just disappear and reappear later. He's leaving. Cove's trying to be the first one to the car. With a sudden burst of speed, Lizzie darted for the exit, still in Victor to be mode, even for something like a race to ride to the front seat. There was nothing else for the three of you to do except head after them, pretending the librarians hadn't noticed all the commotion. Lizzie had claimed a window seat in the car. Judging by her expression, this win hadn't been sufficient to compensate for her earlier loss. Cove had sighed as she shot past him and last second, and he had to sit in the middle, but he cheered up some as you hopped to the back seat next to him. Before silence settled over the car, Mr. Holden cleared his throat. Cove, you really should have stuck with the group. Quiz would have been fun. That was the plan when I dropped you off. And that's where your friends were. You didn't have to be by yourself. I wanted to, and I didn't leave the library. I'm glad for that much, but well, there's a lot of trouble you can get into on your own, even in a library. Just be careful next time. I worry about you. I bet I'm not the only one who didn't want you to unexpectedly run off. Okay, son?
Okay.
Okay. That's my boy. Now, enough guff from your old dad. Sorry we didn't win, Lizzie. You did really good, still. I had a great time. That's the spirit. Judging by how Lizzie pulled her arms closer to her chest, she didn't agree with this sentiment. She looked over her shoulder at you, her expression softening. Thanks for doing the quiz anyway. We'll win for sure next year. Definitely. Yeah, even if it means we have to read everything. Maybe we should get started now. We'll go over the whole library. Can't read all that. Just watch us.
Ugh.
I want to watch you read. You're going to watch us read, and you will like it! You kids. No need to fight. It's good that you're setting your sights high, though. It had been a fun day. We'd like to have spent more of it with Cove. This event was special, and you just couldn't pass it up. There'll be other times you could hang out with him. Woo! That was fun. But, I think that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it for the game. I am tapping out.